want to say, oh, well, you know, we did this, we did that, but we're working on this, we're working on that. We're tired of all those false promises. Come and put your boots on the ground like Kim Handy Jones comes all the way from Chicago, putting them boots on the ground. Why don't y'all put your boots on the ground and come down here and do something about it? Yeah. Right. Like I said, I like to keep it close, because that's who I am. But God knows my heart. He knows I am tired. 2.5 years. I can't even breathe the way that I want to breathe for my only child. Because I got to be out here in the streets. I got to be out here and supporting my brothers and sisters in this fight. This fight is not fun. I don't want it on anybody. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. But while y'all are out here and all these cameras are out here, I need y'all to lift up my baby's name. Because a lot of people don't even know Hardale Cheryl. I don't know if it's because they want to keep hiding it, they want to keep putting it under the rug, but y'all need to say my baby's name. Hardale Cheryl. Hardale Cheryl. Hardale Cheryl. Hardale Cheryl. Thank you. Peace. If Hardale don't get it, shut it down. 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 If Justin don't get it, shut it down. If Justin don't get it, shut it down. If Kobe don't get it, shut it down. If Paul don't get it, shut it down. If Travis don't get it, shut it down. If Jeffrey don't get it, shut it down. If Javon don't get it, shut it down. If Delon don't get it, shut it down. If we don't get it, shut it down. Okay, now we're gonna have the mother of Cordell Handy, Kim Handy Jones.
Hold this for a second, I need it, okay?
Hi. My name is Kimberly Handy Jones. I'm the mother of Cordell Handy. So, I ain't here to tell you my Cordell story because everybody don't deserve Cordell Handy's story. Let's be clear. Because no matter what people see and what they hear, even though you've seen the cruel, horrific execution of George Floyd, white people still, even with sin, want to believe that he did something to deserve it. It's a cruel, cruel-minded person that would think George Floyd, Hardale Cheryl, Justin Tigan, Delal Eid, Travis Jordan, Jafford Smith, Demetrius Hill, Marcus Golden, Paul Castaway, Billy Hughes, Fumi Lee, Matt Kung, Terrence Franklin, Sandra Bland, Breonna Taylor, Ma'Khia Bryant would ever deserve an execution day. It's ridiculous. And then you got hypocrite motherfuckers that would have the fucking gall and cacosity to go to the funeral of Daunte Wright and act like Black Lives Matter. If Black Lives Matter, then damn it, how did Derek Chauvin get away with all those murders? And Black Lives Matter. Then you had the cacosity to have him training police. He was out there at the George Floyd Square that day showing his natural racist white ass to those other cops that were new, showing them how you kill black, brown, and indigenous bodies. Kim Potter, I'm sorry she even got my fucking name. I'm pissed. I'm pissed to the fucking max. You know a taser from a damn gun. You ain't confused. And another one, training officers how to murder and kill black and brown and indigenous bodies. Fuck you gonna pull out a damn gun and holler, taser, taser, taser. Oh fuck, I shot him. Oh, fuck. You killed him. You did more than shot him. Now his kid got to grow up without his father. And then white terrorists have the nerves to make fun of them because they don't have fathers, but you are the very ones that are taking their lives. And Amy Klobuchar. Amy Klobuchar, you've lost your fucking mind. And I'm gonna need you to find that motherfucker. I'm gonna need you to find it. I ain't in a good place today, people. I ain't been in a good place in a long time. I wasn't born in a good place. Fuck, you gonna get up there and give a speech. A speech about what? Oh. How you gonna make Black Lives Matter? If Black Lives Matter, then why did Mayan Burrell do 18 years of his life? If Black Lives Matter. Now to be ashamed to come to that funeral and put on that shit show, because that's what it was. It was a shit show at best. But I'm going to tell you, God is good. He's good because I wasn't there. I wasn't there. God knows what he's doing. He's doing it, people. I wasn't there. It wasn't meant for me to be there. This wasn't meant. Her black speech. What do you know about being black? What do you know about people appealing to your black body with a death sentence? What do you know about that? You don't know a damn thing. What you know is white privilege. You can't tell me about my blackness and our sons and daughters and my sisters and brothers' blackness. That would be like me teaching a black woman you have black privilege. I'll be damned if that's so. So, Amy Klobuchar with that bullshit speech that you gave, the same mouth you spewed that toxic ass shit out of, the same mouth that I know you went back home and you adjusted it back, your racist hate back into your mouth. I hope you shit that damn fucked up black speech out of your ass, cause you full of shit. And I'ma tell you, you full of shit. Come to me with that motherfucking bullshit. I ain't got time, people. I'm sick of the bullshit. Running up here taking platforms and taking microphones that black and brown indigenous people deserve to have. Platforms that you ain't did nothing to deserve to have. The last thing I remember, when she takes platforms and takes a mic, she wants to run for president. She wants to send black people to jail. She wants to give them life. And this one here, Tim Walz, with your safety net. That was safety net. When people think about safety nets, when you say safe to me, that means being out of harm's way. He puts black people and brown people in even more harm's way. And all we want to do is fight for justice, fight for quality. The Christ that laid and died on the cross for them did the same for us. But mothers, I want to say to you, ain't no justice like God's justice. None. And you know what? I can honestly say, you ain't got to worry about Justin Tiger, Delau League. You ain't got to worry about Kobe Heisler. You ain't got to worry about Travis Jordan, Paul Castaway. Seeing none. Because that's one of the 10 commandments. Thou shalt not commit murder. I'm sick and tired of you fucked up ass legislators. I'm just sick of it. I'm sick and tired of motherfuckers filling up seats that they asses don't deserve. We're gonna waltz his ass right on up out his motherfucking seat. That's what we're gonna do. Waltz him right up out his seat. Sitting up there with them fucking damn smiles on your damn face. Over that young man's body. That Amy, that Tim Walz, that these deadly police forces enforce upon us, on our bodies. I'm pissed off. I'm madder than a motherfucker. And I'm letting you know right now, I keep saying this to white people, if This is not for you. Please walk the fuck off. Please don't fuck with me. Don't ask me nothing stupid. Don't say nothing motherfucking stupid. And damn sure don't do nothing stupid. I'm telling you. Because till you go home and the void that we feel, when you go home, and if you have this certain circumstance as our families, then you'll never understand. I don't expect white people to understand what we go through. But I do expect for you to get an education about it. And that's one of the dumbest things in the world to me. You're going to be doctors, lawyers, you even be fucked up ass governors and shit. You'll be all that. But when it comes to black, brown, and indigenous bodies, you have no education. None. Some of the most uneducated people I know. And then to walk around, you don't have white privilege. What the fuck you got? You think I got it? Did Cordell have it? Because if Cordell had white privilege, he'd still be here with me. I don't look at white people and decide, oh, I hate you. You're white. You're racist. You know if that's your circumstance. You know, I don't appeal to white people like that. People are people, and that's just how I look at it. But don't come to me with your Karen and Becky's and your Tim Waltzes. Don't come to me with that bullshit. Because I'm that unapologetic black woman, black mother that will get your ass up off me by any means necessary. Don't fuck with me. And don't ever let me see you accosting our black kids. That ain't going either. Because the spirit of Cordell will come back and kick you in your motherfucking ass. The spirit of all our children. I will fuck something up. And I'm telling you. And this ain't coming from a place of being nasty. It ain't coming from a place of hate. It's coming up from a place of being real. Because this is my reality. Police brutality. And if you don't like it, then that's too damn bad, and fuck you too. Fuck you too. Amy Klobuchar, you're responsible too for Hardell Sherrell's death. You're responsible too, because instead of people opening their mouths and being a part of the solution, they'd rather sit back on their ass, collect their check, and be a big fucking problem. I don't even know how some of them go home and feed their kids off the paychecks they collect. How do you? Knowing that your ways and your actions are responsible for all our children's death in one way or another. My Aunt Burrell, brother, wherever you're at out here in Minnesota and the world, I'm glad you made it. I'm so glad you made it. It's by God's grace that you made it, because let me tell you, it wasn't by none of these demonic-ass spirits. And I know that our spirits shake their demon. I hope my spirit and Cordell's spirit and all these people that have lost loved one's spirit moving furniture around up in that motherfucker today. I hope pictures is falling off the wall. Let me just say, you can't wish nothing good for a motherfucker that's been bad. You just can't. And let me just say something to the media. I really don't do a lot of media. It's a reason why I don't. Because instead of you all telling our truth, you always have to mix up the police narrative, align them and insert them in our sons and daughters' story. That's not right. Somebody say that's not right. So let me just say to the media today, do me a favor. When you go to tell our loved one's story, tell our truth. Because see, I raised Cordell. I had him. I know the son, the loving child that he had. Every last one of these families up here know the loving children and that they had, the loving fiancés that they had. When you go to tell our story, tell our truth. And I'm asking you that. Is it not enough that the police have executed our children and our fiancés and took them from us. And then you want to murder their integrity and their character. And then our sons and daughters and mothers and fathers and families have to see that. Now, I'm really coming from a humble place. And I'm asking you to tell our truth. Because I can promise you this. As God sits up high and look down low, if you mess with Cordell and Andy, I'm coming to see you people. And you know what's fucked up? I ain't coming by myself. I will bring everything shaking and moving from Chicago up here, along with Minnesota. And it's not a threat, it's a promise. Because I promised God when I had Cordell that I would take care of him, that I would love him, and that I would be the mother that he made me be, that I would provide, as the rest of these families did. Please, tell our truth. Please don't do that to our kids. Don't do that to our fiancés. Don't do that. And the way you all did, allow Eve's family come up in his Mr. Eve's house and his wife's house and just have no compassion. And there's little kids in there watching and looking. And I know that the little ones are devastated for the rest of their natural born lives. Then you got the interim chief of police in Brooklyn Center that said to the people standing there in the press conference, what do you plan on doing different, they say? Since you're taking Kim Potter's, the chief place, what do you plan on doing different? What do you think about Dante Wright's killing? He says, oh, just like I'm getting ready to tell you. Oh, I can't wrap my mind around it. I didn't prepare a speech. That's some inhumane shit, people. Because I can promise you, before my son was executed, you see things like that, you read them. I don't need to tell no speech. I mean, I don't need to write down nothing. It's just being human, having humanity. Who needs to write a speech when we're losing our kids out here? Who needs a speech? And who needs to know that, you know why you can't wrap your mind around it? Because you don't give a fuck. You was more concerned about Kim Potter resigning, which we're calling for her termination. We're calling for her termination. You were more concerned about her resigning. You were more concerned about the chief resigning, the city manager being fired. The fuck you concerned about them for? All three of them got breaths. They get to breathe every day, but Dante don't. They mad about that shit. Well, I want to say to every last one of these police departments, you put Derek Chauvin, you're going to put Kim Potter, all their deadly murderous asses in the position that they in. Because you didn't want to cross that thin blue line. But you also set them back out the door to keep killing, and killing again. So, I felt like he felt Dante Wright deserved that because he couldn't speak to it from a human perspective. Write a speech. Well, I wrote one, and I wrote it in my head. You go home, you wrap your arms around your daughters and sons and your mothers and fathers and your wives, if you got one. I don't see who would marry the deadly murderous asses, but oh well. That's whatever. They get to go home and just love on their family. That's a fortune that was taken from us. Then you can't wrap your mind around the fact that Dante Wright is dead. Because you didn't give a damn. You didn't care. So what I'm going to say to these murderous policemen and policewomen, I don't like this woman having my name. I was here first. God knows I was, because I'm older than her. And she got pretty much all my name. I'm Kimberly Diane and she's Kimberly Ann. Horrible. So you can imagine how I feel. Now every time somebody say Kim, I'm looking around like this and I ain't murdered nobody. People, I just want to say, when you see people like myself and Tashira and Amity, and you see Marilyn Hill, and I know Matilda Smith is out here in Taryn Vein, and you see people like Paul Castaway and Tonya, his lovely, beautiful wife, and Delisle E. Daddy, I just want to say, when we out here fighting, we ain't just fighting for ours. I don't have a selfish fight. We fighting for yours too. We fight for children living and dead. Living and dead. And stop and think before you go to tell our loved ones' names. Or stories, I'm sorry, and say their names. Make sure you say it with compassion. Make sure you be empathetic and sympathetic. If not, don't say their names. Because best believe our boots is going to be on the ground and we're going to always say their names. And we're going to always stand up for the stolen lives and lives that are still here. Basically, in one nutshell, all I'm saying is don't throw fucking rocks and hide your hands because we see you. We see you. Don't do that to us. And white people, I'm going to say this, we thank you if you're sincere. And this is what you really mean you want to do. But please, I'm begging you, when you appeal to Kimberly Handy Jones, have some common sense. Have some common sense. And common sense don't always come. You know, some people's sense ain't common and it don't always come when it needs to. But we appreciate your boots on the ground. And when I fight, and when they fight, we fight for your kids too. You think it makes us feel good to see white kids lose their lives on the streets? It don't. Because we're mothers. We're fiancés. And what it does do is traumatize us every time. Every time. So, Minnesota, stand up, stand strong, and more importantly, stand together. And please, quit shoving your knees on our fucking necks. So let me just say, I'm gonna say this, and sure, I'm giving up this mic. Fuck Tim Walz. Fuck you to the 10th degree. And fuck every motherfucker just like you. I give no fucks about people like Tim Walz. Amy Klobuchar, fuck your raggedy maggot ass too. Fuck 10 people and 1,000 like you. So, here's what we're gonna do. Boots hit the floor and they rolling out the door. I can't get nothing if I'm sitting around. I gotta put my boots, I gotta put them on the ground. 1 foot up, 1 foot down, put them both together, got, okay, not for the fortune, not for the fame. Standing here today and we calling them names. Put one up, put one down. You put them both together, got boots on the ground. Let's get it, boots, boots, boots on the ground. What do you do? Hold the fuck up. Y'all ain't shutting shit down. Sound like y'all shut the fuck down. Don't fucking play with boots on the ground, damn it.
Let's go.
Now let's get it. And if I stop this mic again, I'm gonna punch somebody in the damn throat. I love you all. Let's get it, y'all. I love each and every last one of y'all. Come on. Not for the fortune, not for the fame. Standing here today and we're saying the name. 1 foot up, 1 foot down. Put them both together, got boots on the ground. Let's get it. Boots, boots, boots on the ground. We're here to shut this shit down. Come on, come on.
Boots on the ground. We're here to shut this shit down. Boots, boots.
Come on, people.
Boots on the ground.
Come on.
We're here to shut this shit down.
Remix. Boots, boots, boots on the motherfucking ground. We're here. love you. We shut shit down by any means motherfucking necessary. Oh, and to the activists that want to come from out of the other states, and I'm from Chicago, let me just say, if I had to fight this fight with anybody, it'd be right here with the people in Minnesota. Because Minnesota get it the fuck in. Let me tell you, I love you, Minnesota. I love you. God bless each and every last one of you.
So families, half of our families, because we're going to start on March 2, so half of our families, we will like stop in the middle and have some more families speak. I'm going to go ahead, so I just want to let families know. But first, you know, while everybody's here, I would like to just have our families come forward in the middle. I just want everybody to look at all of our families that are out here that are being represented today. So if you guys could just come up in the center right here, we can step back, but I just want all of our families. These are the families that are represented here that have had their loved ones stolen. These mothers are over there in a huddle, but they're a part of it too. Ladies, I just wanted to know, Mr. Elshia, So these are Miss Kim. These are all of the families that are represented here today that have lost our loved ones. And I just want you guys to take a look. So we're not just going to yell George Floyd. We're not just going to yell Dante Wright. We're going to yell Delae. We're going to yell Cordell Handy. We're going to yell Hardell Sherrill. And we're going to yell Nas Power. We're going to yell Demetrius Hill. We're going to yell Jeffrey Smith. We're going to yell Kobe Heisler. We're going to yell Oscar Grant. We're going to yell Travis Jordan. We're going to yell Paul Castaway. We're not going to just yell the names that we heard about in the media, because this is what everybody has to understand. When you only yell the names that are in the media, that's almost like isolating a story. That makes the world believe that this is not a severe problem as it really is. You have to say the names of the people that have been swept under the rug. You have to say the names of the stories that's been covered up. That is the only way to show the severity and the truth about what's really going on around the United States and here in the state of Minnesota. There's been so many murders and so many cover-ups. Justin Tigan was the epitome of a cover-up. Demetrius Hill and all of these murders were the epitome of cover-ups. Kobe Heisler, all of our families here today, you have to get to know our families. Get to know our loved ones' names. So you can say their names when you're out in the street. Because there are hundreds of murders that led up to George Floyd and Dante Wright. And those families deserve just as much support. So now we're going to have the family of Paul Castaway, his brother, who is here, and he came from Colorado to fight for his brother and his wife, Tony.
Good afternoon, good afternoon. My name is Gabriel Blackwell. I'm one of the lead organizers of Native Lives Matter. I'm also part of the Families United for Justice with Uncle Bobby here. And I just wanted to give it, just touch real quick on about my brother. My brother was murdered by Denver police officer Jerry Fuck 12 Lara and Michael Lee Fuck 12 Trout. My brother was having a mental health issue. And just like Andy said, you know, autism is not a crime. Or having mental health issues is not a crime either. My brother was calling out for help. My brother held a kitchen knife with both hands to his neck as the police shot and killed him in front of 3 adults and 18 kids. So I just want to give a shout out to everybody in this crowd for coming out. That means a lot to us justice families. That means a lot. That means that someone cares. Because there comes a time after our incidents happen that we feel like we're alone. We feel like nobody cares. And then we come out to marches and rallies and we see people like this, man, that feels good. That lets us know that change needs to happen. It needs to happen somehow. If it's getting people in the offices, then so be it. If it takes for us marching these streets, man, then so be it. Well, I just wanted to give a shout out to you guys and let you guys know that you guys being out here means a lot to us. It means a lot. And we got your back too.
No, you need to say I am your back.
Yeah, so I just want to give a shout out to you guys. Thank you guys for allowing me to speak. And I just want to let you guys know that, for us justice families, that it helps. Even if you guys are just sharing stories on social media, that helps. That lets us know that our family's names is being said, that our families ain't being swept under the rug. So these last couple months, you've been seeing all these OISs all over the damn country. Another name that I want to bring up so nobody doesn't forget is Jacob Wood. Jacob Wood was a Native man who was killed 9 days ago. And he was having a mental health issue, cutting himself. And the police decided to shoot and kill him. One of our own police people. So that's another name I want you guys to remember while you guys out there shouting names. Justice for Jacob Wood! 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 And fuck 12! 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 Just before I get off the mic, I just want to let you guys know, man, as far as being a justice family member, man, that feels good to yell at the police. It feels good to scream at these motherfuckers and let them know how you feel. That feels good to me. That's a couple more steps into healing my process. To look at a cop and scream at him, fuck you. Fuck 12. You motherfuckers killed my brother. Fuck you. So I just wanted to tell you guys that helps me. I don't do too good on the microphone because I got a lot of shit going on in my head and I can't say it all. So I just wanted to educate you guys on what we're feeling out here. When we're out there screaming at the cops, fuck the police, fuck 12, fuck you motherfuckers. We mean that shit. We mean that shit to our fucking bones. Fuck 12. Thank you guys for allowing me to speak. Thank you.
Thank you. And we also want to talk about the fact that these guys are Native Lives Matter. We're standing on whose land? Whose land? Whose land? Whose land? So we have to always give respect where it is due. And this is their land that was stolen from them that we are all standing on. So we have to always give homage to that. Next, I want to let you guys know that we have Oscar Grant's family here, as well as Emmett Till's family here. And one thing that we feel is so important to be connected with Emmett Till's family is because we all know Emmett Till's story. And if you don't, that was a lynching of a young man, 14 years old, back in Mississippi, who whistled at a white girl, and they lynched him. They brutally beat him and lynched him. So we believe that these murders are modern-day lynchings, okay? It doesn't matter what outfit you had on when you committed a racially motivated murder. it doesn't change the fact that it was a racially motivated murder. So whether you had on a regular outfit or a Ku Klux Klan sheets, the white that they had on, or whether you had on a police uniform or a correctional officer in a jail uniform, a lynching is a lynching. Okay? Mistreatment of people in the jails and not giving them adequate medical treatment that they need and deserve as a human being is a lynching. Letting somebody die on the floor with feces is a lynching. You know, shooting somebody with their hands up is a lynching. Beating somebody and throwing them in a dumpster is a lynching. Shooting somebody 39 to 52 times is a lynching. Shooting an 18-year-old Demetrius Hill in the back is a lynching. Okay? Travis Jordan having a mental health crisis is a lynching. The lie, while he's in the car and they lie and they say that he shot outside the car, but we only see them shoot into the car, is a lynching. Okay? Paul Castaway was a lynching.
Powell was a lynching.
Yes, all of these are lynchings, and we have to call it out for what it is. Modern day lynchings. There ain't no sugarcoating this for what it is. And so, that is why it's important that we have a relationship with Emmett Till's family, and our groups are really closely connected, because we know through history that's what's happening right now today. In these police departments, these are the Ku Klux Klan with badges on. These are the Nazis with badges on. And let's call it out for what it is. We're not saying all police are bad. I will never believe that. You guys will be shocked to believe that I have friends that are police. But right is right and wrong is wrong. And when you hurt human beings and using your power to hurt other people, you got to go. So when black lives are under attack, what do we do? What do we do? When native lives are under attack,
What do we do?
stand up, fight back. What do we do? What do we do? When Asian lives are under attack, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? When Somali lives are under attack, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? Thank you. So we're going to have a few more families speak, but we want to get going on a march. We're just going to march around the governor's mansion. I'm going to have some families speak in the middle. I know it's some families that got to catch planes, so I don't want to put nobody in front of anybody, but I know it's people that got to leave out because they're catching planes back out of town. So we're going to have some more families speak once we stop in the middle of the march, or even when we come back around as well. So we're going to have Oscar Grant family speak. Thank you.
What do we want? Justice! What do we want? Justice! What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! When do we want it? Now! When do we want it? Now! Thank you, Minnesota. I am affectionate unto the community as Uncle Bobby. I'm the uncle of Oscar Grant. Now let me ask so that I know who I'm talking to. How many know who Oscar Grant is? Just raise your hand. Okay, good. If you haven't seen the movie Fruitvale, how many of you actually seen the movie Fruitvale Station? Raise your hand. So that's the story of Oscar spending a day in his life and what happened. And so I'm just going to just step back in time 12 years ago on January 1st, 2009 in Oakland, California at the Fruitvale BART station. My nephew Oscar Grant was thrown to the ground in a prone position, 600 pounds of officer on his back. Tony Perroni with his knee on his neck. Oscar pleaded, "I can't breathe, I can't breathe." Pushing his face through the concrete platform floor, cracking the bones in his face. Tony Perroni weighed 260 pounds. Johannes Mesme weighed 270 pounds. Johannes Mesme, as Tony Perroni has his knee on Oscar's neck, stands up, pulls his weapon out, and shoots Oscar's center mass in the back. For the first time, we all got the witness out of my weapon. Dante Wright, right? Knee in the Neck with George, right? I Can't Breathe with George and Eric Gardner, right? Oscar experienced all that in one night. But now here's the kicker. It was because of the community embracing us, standing with us, crying with us, going back and forth to court with us, shouting, "I am Oscar Grant," standing as you are today in support of us and our family. We got, for the first time in California state history, an officer arrested, charged, convicted, and sent to jail. Now let me be clear, we don't count that as a victory, but we do count it as a historical mark, because here's the sad note. Since January 1st, 2009, over 13,000 folks here in the United States has been killed by these road bad cops in this country. You hear what I'm saying? Over 13,000. 13,000. Think about that. So we got work to do. Now let me ask this. How many of you were actually in the streets when Oscar was murdered? Okay. Oh, a couple. How many of you, how long have, let me rephrase this, because this is important. You're here today with boots on the ground, being involved to bring real systemic change. The wheels of justice turn slow. We've been at this 12 years, and we've seen many be birthed into this movement, and they decide to step back. We have to be consistent. We have to stay in these streets, and we have to continuously shout, "I am Oscar Grant. I am George Floyd. I am Dante Wright," and the many other names that we have just mentioned up here. We have to be serious about this. Some of us is going to go to jail. Let's just be honest about this. Some of us are going to have to sacrifice and go to jail. Some of us is going to get hurt. But the bottom line is that if you're not in this from the real heart about bringing about real systemic change, I want you to think about this. This is not about us. It is about these babies we see coming behind us. If we fail to stand today, it'll be their demise tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? It'll be their demise tomorrow. And if we do think it's bad today, wait till tomorrow. So it's important that we don't let it come knock at our door just to get us involved. All of us are now required to share with our best friends, our family, to motivate others about real systemic change has to happen, or what we're going to see is an implosion within this United States. That's the reality we're facing. That's the reality we're facing. So let's be serious about this. Let's make sure Minnesota, we take our hats off. We thank you for being in these streets. We thank you for leading this nation and bringing about real systemic change. And whenever you make the call, we're on the West Coast, in California, in places like LA, Oakland, San Francisco. We're in the streets, Fresno. We're in the streets supporting you. So don't think you're doing this alone. This is a unified effort that requires mass movement from everybody across the United States. So again, for the Oscar Grant family, we have to catch a beat. Otherwise, we'll be right here with you walking today. We love all of you.
We love you.
Thank you.
So I'm going to have some children speak, but I'm going to let this mother speak. Her hand is really, really cold. Some of our mothers can't stand being out here like this. One person I want to speak on, we have the mother of Jafford Smith, who is here today, and she would like me to speak on her behalf of Jafford. Jafford was shot 49 to 52 times by the St. Paul police, and the officer decided to move in her building where she lives. So we're going to be fighting soon to get him up out of there, because that's just inhumane for anybody to have to live through. But they shot and killed Jafford on Mother's Day. Okay, so that was her Mother's Day gift from the department to kill her son. okay? And they went around with notes telling everybody what to say about what happened. And it wasn't true. They lied on him and said he shot someone, and I heard an audio that said no one was shot in his situation. So this is the mother of Jeffrey Smith. We will be celebrating for him. We will be raising him up next month, and we will be doing an event for Jeffrey Smith soon. As well as Demetrius Hill, his mother is here too, and she's going to speak today as well.
I am so pleased to see everybody out here in solidarity. I'm just grateful to know that they gave Derek Chauvin that 3 counts. Is when the day comes for sentencing, I hope they don't run it concurrent. He needs every charge ran consecutive. I feel for the mother of Derek White because I feel that Dante White's family needs justice. My son was killed 25 years ago, and I'm still fighting for justice. Even though it's been that many years, I believe the officer that's involved in my shooting, he's now head of records in the St. Paul Police Department. I am trying my best for him to step down and be investigated because he has been he's been alternating records, and he had been involved in my son's murder. He wrote those words, and they all lies, and the media has put in lies in regarding my son. I'm having an event on April 28th. I am about to explode a little information on Victor and Joshua Lego. I think the world and the community, the media, needs to know the truth about what happened, because the witnesses in there that I have talked to has been said is all lies. They put out information just to cover up the truth. My son was shot in the back in the apartment building at 1335 Westminster. He had 6 holes in his body. Now, for a person that's that young at 18, the gun down with his back turned, this officer was meaning to shoot my son, to kill him. He was in plain clothes. He was no good. He's known after he shot my son as a drunk. So I am going to be talking about him. So I'm hoping that everybody come and stand with me in unity that day, because I want the mothers to be there too, to be able to call these officers that's in their court. Their names need to be shouted out. Right. Every officer that's involved in killing, we need to intimidate them like they intimidate us. There's no more being afraid. We shouldn't walk around like we in silence and afraid. See, that's why they're continuing killing. Kimberly Potter, she killed someone before. Wow. Now her time is up. Wow. Victor, he had been involved with another killing, and the mother that's involved with the guy that killed him, she wants to talk about what happened too, because I want you to know that some people are innocent. And when they go to jail and have to serve life, if you kill somebody, yes, you deserve life in prison. Thank you. My name is Marilyn Hill. Say Demetrius' name.
Demetrius Hill!
Say it out loud.
Demetrius Hill!
Say it again.
Demetrius Hill!
No justice.
No peace!
No justice.
No peace!
Sending the police to jail is just as well as they send us to jail. Thank you.
To the cops!
Because our platform is for our family. When I do events, it's for our family. However, I am going to have some families speak. They can speak when we stop during the march or when we come back around. But I want someone to speak right now that has been helping us with the legislation, because we have bills on the table we have bills that we are fighting right now, and we're trying to get through the legislation. And this man, John McCollum, has worked closely with our families. He's been there with our families. And the bills that he wrote came out of the stories of our families. They're rooted in our stories. So he wrote the statute of limitation for wrongful death, we want it removed. That is rooted in our stories that ran out of time to file a wrongful death lawsuit against these departments. He also wrote a bill known as the Kobe Law to get the video tapes released within 48 hours to the families, because they hold on to videotapes and they don't want the footages to come out, because they don't want the truth to come out about the brutalization that they're doing to our loved ones and to the community. And the next one that he wrote is we want the abolishment of qualified immunity. We want it gone. So, again, our platform is for our families, but however, because this man has worked so hard with our families, and he's been testifying on these bills, putting his life on the line, testifying for these bills. I'm going to have him speak, and then we're going to get started on our march, and we're going to let the rest of the family speak, and we're just going to have our boots on the ground. Boots! Boots! Boots on the ground! We're here! We're here to shut the shit down! Boots! Boots! Boots on the ground! We're here! We're here to shut the shit down! Thank you! Now we're going to have John McCollum. Oh, and also he wrote a letter to the FBI and also to the United States Department of Justice. He wrote that letter, and they are now starting an investigation with the Minneapolis Police Department. But also, we are fighting to get them to do an investigation to start with the Minneapolis and the St. Paul Police, because we know that the St. Paul Police is the most deadliest in the entire state of Minnesota. So if you guys can help us fight that more than just, because all these murders didn't just come from the Minneapolis police. They came from all of these departments. But we're going to start with those two, and then we're going to go out to Brooklyn Center, and we're going to, because this place needs to be under federal investigation.
That's right.
So thank you, and here's John McCollum.
Thank you. So, my high of the week was the guilty verdict of Derek Chauvin this week. But then I was reminded that that guilty verdict is a drop in the bucket of what the criminal justice system owes our community and our people. So, when we sit over here and we look at the people who showed up to the funerals, the politicians, I was at George Floyd's funeral. I was at Daunte Wright's funeral. And I must say, the same people who showed up, the same legislators who showed up, are some of the biggest opposition today in pushing forward substantive policy. So, and we're still waiting on a response from the governor, from the lieutenant governor's statement about Minnesota being a bad place for black people. So we're still waiting on you, Mr. Governor. So on March 29th, we drafted a letter and sent it to the FBI asking for the patterns and practices investigation. This letter was at the direct request of Philando Castile's mom, Valerie Castile. This was an investigation that was halted under the previous administration around the country, and I'm happy to say that they're here. And we're going to wait and see what they turn up. We are trying to get them to come to St. Paul, because St. Paul is worse than Minneapolis. It really is. So we're working with the Department of Justice to get them also to come here to St. Paul and other surrounding communities. And as far as the legislation is concerned, 2 bills did not make it on the omnibus package. One of those bills was the qualified immunity bill. The second bill was the statute of limitations on wrongful death. The reason the statute of limitations, according to the Speaker of the Senate, Paul Gazelka, why the problem that they had with that bill is because there was a little provision in that bill that says that victims of sexual assault by police officers would be able to come forward. And that was the one piece, the one phrase that the GOP had a problem with. Someone say that ain't right.
That ain't right.
So we are demanding that the Minnesota legislature do their job and that they give these bills their just due hearings and that they pass this legislation. It's long overdue and we want justice. These families need justice. There wouldn't have been a Dante Wright had this legislation been passed. There wouldn't have been a George Floyd had this legislation been passed. There wouldn't have been a Philando Castile had this legislation been passed. There wouldn't have been a Justin Tigan had this legislation been passed. So we have to do our part and hold these elected leaders accountable. We're in phase 1 of our operation. We'll be in phase 2 after the legislative session is done to start targeting the seats of these legislators. So I encourage you to do your part and vote these people out of office when the time comes.
Let's go.
In addition to that, for people who want to see the letter that was sent to the Department of Justice, you can go to www.themjc.org under action, and you can see that action. And I would encourage everybody all over this country to send a letter to the Justice Department, to your delegation, to the President, to your special agent in charge of your state, and ask for an investigation, just like was done here.
Okay, so the families, I appreciate you guys for being so patient, but the families are really requesting, because we barely get time to just speak and vent and just let out how we feel. I know that I organized a rally and a march, but I'm just going off of how the families are feeling, and they're fired up, and they just want to speak, you know? And so, we know that it can get a little lengthy. Yeah, what's it? I know that it can get a little lengthy, and I understand all of that, but at the end of the day, it's about these families.
That's right.
And it's about centering their voices.
That's right.
And it's about the families actually having a chance to have a voice. You know? And so, I know that sometimes we got all these plans, but sometimes go along with the goal.
That's right.
And these families want to vent. If you guys want to listen, we love you and we thank you for having a heart just to hear from us and listen. So that's what we're going to do, and we're going to call up our next family. Thank you so much.
You all, I'm the mother of Naja Khan, Adonis Powell. I want you all to see that sign right there. That's my son. He was picked up in County Hospital. He was in the psych unit. They picked him up from Henry County psych unit. He's been having mental health issues for over 10, 15 years. And then they put him in the nurses called the hospital called the police to pick him up. Why did they do that? They come to pick my child away from me. I didn't know what was going on. They came up.
We got your back. Slow down,
My child loved me. He was for many years. And the police came and picked him up directly from the hospital. And then they didn't put him in segregation. They didn't put him anywhere. They put him in a cell with a bunk bed and sheets and left him there. And over almost 30 minutes later, they found my baby hanging. They found my baby hanging. That's what they claim. That's what they claim.
Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath, sir.
How do you take somebody from a mental health hospital and then take him to jail and not put him into a medical health unit in jail? You shouldn't have picked him up in the first place. He should have been picked up in the first place. And he called his mom, and he went to the hospital because he was telling me for months that the medication made him feel strange, it made him feel weird. He wasn't feeling right. He was feeling off. And that's why he checked himself in. They came, they called the police, they took my baby to jail, and not even 5 hours later, my baby's dead. My baby's dead. That ain't right. That ain't right. That ain't right. My baby should be here. My son should be here. This doesn't make any sense. This don't make any sense at all. What happened to my child? I can barely be here. I can barely stand. But my baby.
We got your back.
They took my child. And I went back and I can't have him back. So I want motherfucking justice. That's right. I want justice now. That's right. I'm going to hold you all accountable. Everybody. I don't care if you're in Minnesota. I don't care if you're in Australia. We all need to be saying, we want justice. We want justice now. We want mental health justice.
That's
We
right.
want police justice for the murderers. The police, the murderers. We want justice for Hennepin Health Care, who called the police on my child instead of calling the mother. You called the mother. Why would you call the police on my baby? You should be. I can't do it.
Okay, you got your back. Like 2 minutes. I know that my sister, like, this just happened 9/11 of 2020. We just want to thank Be Their Voices, who have also been there for our family. And so accountability is a must. We must have accountability. It has to happen now. We can't keep waiting for more children, more innocent people to get murdered. I want to thank you, sister, for having this platform for us, because we did feel alone. We felt so like no one, we was hearing all the other stories around, and equally it's hurt. But to be silent, to be quiet, when you're hurting because an innocent person again has been taken from a family and a good young man, also then with a good future, but just have mental health issues. That does not warrant a death sentence.
That's right, Auntie.
So I ask you all to stay with us, follow Najee Khan Adonis Powell, read his story. Mental health matters, Black Lives Matter, all matter, we all matter.
Yes.
Until we all feel it, till we all feel the pain, till we all feel the pain, we gotta all feel it. It shouldn't have to knock on your front door before this is over. So I want to say Black Power. I'm always first and foremost Black Power. Power to the people. Power to the people. Thank you.
Nice Powell, say his name.
Say his name.
Nice Powell.
Nice Powell.
Say his name.
Nice Powell.
Say his name.
Nice Powell.
Say
Say
his name.
his name.
Nice Powell.
Say his name.
Nice Powell.
Say his name.
Nice Powell.
If Nash don't get it,
Shut it down.
Nash don't get it,
Shut it down.
Nash don't get it,
Shut it down.
We ain't got time for this. Y'all hear what I'm saying? This is exactly why I had to start Be Their Voices organization. Because while we were out here fighting, talking about police, look at what's happening in the jails. We can't allow them to continue to treat our babies less than human. They're in there. Y'all heard her story, okay? Very different story. Her baby should be alive. Hardell was in there to pay his debt to society, but he should still be alive. They had no right to treat our babies the way they did. So if we don't get it, we shutting it down. Say his name.
Nash Powell!
Say his name.
Nash Powell!
Nash Powell. Say his name.
Nash Powell!
Nash Powell. Say his name.
Nash Powell!
Say his name.
Nash Powell!
Please, people, that's what we're asking y'all to do. Repeat these names. That's the only way that people are going to know what is happening in Minnesota, and y'all see how deep racism runs in Minnesota. And we're sick and tired of telling these stories over and over and over again and still getting no justice. No justice!
No peace!
No justice!
No peace!
No justice!
No peace!
Thank you.
So we're gonna let Ms. Kim do her new chant real quick, and then we're gonna have Taryn, the girlfriend of Travis Jordan. And like I said, we were going to do a march, but the Spirit is just telling me to let these families vent and let these families just get it out. And I don't want to rush them. I don't want to push them. I don't want to do any of that. I want to give them their time that they rightfully deserve and just let them say what they got to say today. So if you came here for a walk march, I apologize, but I got to let these moms and these families do what they got to do. Thank you. And so Ms. Kim is going to show us her new chant.
Thank you. Real quick, she just told me she feel like giving up. But she's gonna run this race. But look, I'm gonna say to you, sister, don't give up and don't give in. Because we can win with Jesus. We can win. And I want you to know that. Be encouraged. Be encouraged. And people stop saying, I got your back. I've told you all, when I'm under attack, be my back. I am your back. You ain't got nothing. Don't, like I keep saying, don't catch me when I fall. Catch me before the fall. You got my back, I ain't got to worry about falling. So if they don't get no justice, if we don't get no justice, they don't get no peace. If we don't get no justice,
They don't get no peace!
well, but hold on. Let me take that back. If we don't get no justice, they don't get no peace. If we don't get no justice, they don't get no sleep. If we don't get no justice, not one damn peep. Fuck 12. Ain't no sleep.
Thank you, Ms. Kim. So now we're going to have Taryn Bay, the girlfriend of Travis Jordan.
Thank you, Shiro. I am so inspired to be around all these mothers and loved ones of people of stolen lives. You guys all inspire me every day to keep fighting. My name is Taryn Bain. My boyfriend Travis Jordan was murdered November 9, 2018 by the Minneapolis Police Department during a wellness check. He was having suicidal ideation, and there were two rookie cops, Neil Walsh and Ryan Kais, who came and murdered him instead of saving his life and giving him proper treatment in the hospital. You know, having a mental health crisis is not a crime.
That's right.
These police officers do not know how to de-escalate situations. They only escalate them. With only 9 months each on the force, I doubt they had the correct training for de-escalation. You know, I am in a pre-social work program, and I am learning about crisis intervention right now. And they did not use any of the steps that I have learned to save Travis's life. You are supposed to create space between yourself and the person in crisis. You are supposed to build rapport. You don't call him buddy. You call him by his name, Travis Jordan. You ask him what is wrong. He is having the worst day of his life. I called 311, not 911. There was no co-responder program in Minneapolis for North Minneapolis. It was only available in South Minneapolis.
That ain't right.
North Minneapolis is one of the most underserved communities in Minneapolis, and they do not have a co-responder program there. So there needs to be a co-responder program there in all of Hennepin County. In Ramsey County, there is the COPE program, but I don't think there is even a correspondent program there anymore because of lack of funding. So we need there to be accountability for those that killed Travis Jordan as well as all these other people in Minneapolis that have been murdered by the police. No one on their on the worst day of their life should be killed, should be murdered. And you know, there are bills that we are trying to pass. One of Travis Jordan's bill is also a part of the 9 that are trying to pass. We are trying to get passed. It has been now taken to the General Register, and we need all the representatives to vote for that bill as well, and for it to move to the Senate, and for Warren Limmer to tell everyone else to pass that damn bill too. Before I leave, I just want to say, you know, Brooklyn Center for Daunte Wright. There have been 5 other people who have been murdered by Brooklyn Center, but no one is calling their names. No one is saying their names. So I want to say all of your names today. So, say their names. Daunte Wright.
Daunte Wright.
Kobe Dimmick Heisler.
Kobe Dimmick Heisler.
Dontalo Wright.
Dontalo Wright.
Edmund D. Fair.
Edmund D. Fair.
Jonathan Marr.
Jonathan Marr.
And this one I'm sorry if I mess it up. Sintanusai Kotavongsa.
Sintanusai Kotavongsa.
Sintanusai Kotavongsa.
Sintanusai Kotavongsa.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sharon. Thank you. When Black lives are under attack,
what do we do? Stand up, fight back.
What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When Native lives are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When Asian lives are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
Thank you. Now, we're going to have one more chat and we're going to have the father of the La'i.
When I say I am, I want you to say somebody. This was a chant that I heard from the Reverend Jesse Jackson, and it moved me, and I want to do it here. So when I say I am, I want you to say somebody. I am
somebody.
I am
somebody.
I am
somebody.
I am
somebody.
I am
somebody.
I am
somebody.
I want you to look to your neighbor, and I want you to say, when I say you are, I want you to say somebody. You are
somebody.
You are
somebody.
You are
somebody.
You are
somebody.
You are
somebody.
You are
somebody.
Thank you.
Thank you, John. Thank you so much. Now we're going to have the father of the La'i. Thank you.
Del Bailey.
All right.
Thank you, everybody. I'm so happy to see you every day when we are demonstration and against police brutality. My name is Bailey Giller.
You got this? You got it.
Well, mostly when I was grow up and born, my father would tell me always, a man never cry. A man will never cry.
You got it, bro. You got it, brother.
Why should I cry when today I'm too old? My daddy would tell me, man never cry. The reason is it? It's lies. The police who also killed my son. He didn't done with nothing. So many times I was saying we have a warrant. As I say, the kind he had at that time, it wasn't his name. Who the fucking is the warrant? What do you want it? Because they went out to kill motherfuckers, my son. And there was, my son, they say he shoot us. He did it, it was a police undercover in the car. There was kidnapping my car, and there was elected. Okay, it hurt me. And I hope all of you that it hurt you too. All of this family who was lost, but they were loved ones. We don't have a justice in the United States. And we thought this is a democratic country. No, this is a war today in South Africa when apartheid was there. How many people the boys are killing every day? They say what, 3? How many black? 2. Okay, if we have 1 million, example, for the black people, and they kill a police every day too, how long we gonna be finished? Soon. Going every day with you. How many a year? So, in Minnesota, it's a worst state in the United States. I can say it's the worst state in the world. Because you can guess. What do you think, all of you, the guys who have a uniform, who kill your son or your daughter or your father or your brother, and you see that person every 5 days, standing there and have a uniform and they still have a power, and you cannot talk.
That ain't right.
Is that fair? Is that fair?
No.
No. Where is the justice? We say, United States, it is a legitimate Democrat, a father of the Democrat or mother of the Democrat. Sorry if I would say mother F. And now I gonna say a father F. Because the mother is the best. And the mother is the one who bringing us, all of us, the world. We cannot be this today, any of us, if we don't have a mouth. Yeah. And you don't need to say without the word. I don't know why should I say, well, sorry about that. And I never say mother F. I gotta say, Father F.
Love you, baby.
So, is there a chance? When is the chance where I was saying, when you see a police who take a life you with a son? Today, we have a uniform, and he look you like a screw face like this one. What are you gonna say? Where's the justice? Okay, in Minnesota, it is farm buyer attacking a black or children. It's not the police who's killing us. It is the system. And what I want to tell you, when he needed vote, he came and knocked our doors and smiling good. Fuck you! When you need a vote, he was smiling good. I say, I will do that. I will do that. I gotta be a good. Where's the good?
Where's the good?
Where is the good? So, we need a justice. We need a justice. And the justice we don't need was some which is a blend. Minnesota, what they're using, we have democracy and we have justice and we are equal and right. Where is all those? No, they are a blend. We are not a blend. We can see you, motherfucker. We can see you. You are lying us. And you will never get our vote anymore.
Yeah, that part.
We gotta choose some of us.
Yeah.
Who gonna listen us? He called me with Chaco what? Chaco McFly, a mayor of Minneapolis. He told him he was sorry for your loss. fuck you, motherfucker, man. You was the one who was killed. All these people, they will offer one, including my son. Next year, he need a phone. He gonna come and smiling and have a suit and when I tell him like this, when I say it, they'll give me a phone. No more.
No more.
No more.
No more.
No more.
No more.
So, my last sentence is, we are not the same 400 years back. 400 years back, we was tolerant and we have slavery and we have discrimination, our killing our brothers and sisters, but no more. We are in decay. We know a right will never be a wrong, and wrong will never be a right. This guy, he's doing always wrong, and he don't want to begin to see him. That's unacceptable. We are human. The boys have children. They don't want to kill someone with their children. Why they want to kill our kids?
Right.
Why they want it? Why? We are human, and we hear so many times human rights. When was some country will happen or some things? United States, they vote with their finger and say that guy he's doing something because he's not doing it just. Why you needed to do it just in your own country and your own people? We hear human rights. We hear even animal rights. But we never hear, I said before, insect rights. If they would think we are insect, we are telling them we are not insect, we are human, and we are more educated and more wiser than you motherfucker mother system and the police brutality. What I want to tell, especially my sister, she was to say, I call her Winnie Mandela, the wife of Mandela, who was fighting so many years for the justice. And what I'm saying, hey sister, we are the black as a Somali. When you say Somali matter, it's not. Say black matter. We are the black. I'm not white, I'm not Asian, I'm not a native, I am African. And I'm proud by color.
That's right.
I am not racist, and I don't like who hate the colors. All the colors is the same, but I don't like the one who is my enemy. Who is that? The police.
That's right.
I don't care, okay, who color he is. Okay, the enemy is the one who is killing you, even if your brother or your sister is your enemy and you hate that, right? I say, we don't need peace. We need justice, and we need equal and rights. No matter what color you are, we have to stick together and fight together. Fight for the justice, fight with all of you. I was sorry if I say a mother F, I will never say it. I will say a Bobby F. And I'm father too. Thank you.
Hey, what's his name? Lahi! What's his name? Lahi!
Okay, now we're gonna have Tusa. He's gonna lead us with a song, and I want to tell you guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I know everybody gotta go, we got other things to do, and I understand. Thank you so much for standing out here listening to our families as we simply vent. This provides healing. Being able to tell your story, being able to say what you're feeling and what you're going through, and having people listen. For 11 years, I went around just trying to get people to listen to me, trying to get people to hear my story and believe my side of the story. So it means more than you guys will even know. It might seem like you're just standing somewhere or you're just listening to something, but it actually means more than you guys will ever know for a family to be able to stand up here and tell their truth, to tell their side of the story. So you being here today and simply listen, that seems so small, but it's than you will ever know. And I thank you so much. Our families thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you. So the next thing, we're going to have Tucson lead us in a song.
Thank you, Sheriff. Appreciate everybody coming out and staying this long. You know, folks every week, you know, they may go to church, they may go to, you know, whatever they go to weekly. And I really feel like this community is starting to show up, not only weekly, but daily for these actions. And you really have to understand that you're changing and you're impacting things just by showing up. Just by continuing to show up, you're impacting the way that your community looks. And you're transforming the way that you're going to be going forward. And what you saw in the past week is you saw Tim Walz, who will show up to the funeral, but he won't show up to the action to prevent that funeral. You see what I'm saying? Tim Walz will show up to the funeral for the murdered black boy, who he wouldn't show up to the action for to prevent that from happening. Do you see what I'm saying? And there's something to that. He wants to show up to the funeral to show you. It's called performative. It's called performative caring, performative justice. And it's to pacify you, to make you think that he does care, to make you think that he's going to be there. He'll show up to the funeral, but not show up to the action to prevent that funeral. Mayor Fry will live in a house that he would never fight for somebody else to live in. Do you see what I'm saying? These folks will fight for their jobs and their money, but they will not fight for the people. When I first came out here, I saw Tim Walz come out and talk to Del Shia. And he just talked out the side of his mouth and then he left. It was real quick. No contrition, no empathy, no nothing. He just came out and then just left. And that was it.
That's right. Tell the truth and shame.
That was it. Amy Klobuchar will show up to the funeral and say, a boy getting pulled over shouldn't result in getting shot. But she won't say, just by breathing and being black, shouldn't result in you spending 18 years in prison. And by the way, Amy was responsible for that. She locked up Maya Burrell for 18 years. For no damn reason. And they didn't do the work until Nakima and Eliza showed up to one of her press conferences, and she wouldn't come out in front of everybody and talk to them. Why she still has a job, I don't know. Why she was allowed to speak at that funeral, I don't know. I don't know why they were there. Because Amy will show up to the funeral, but she ain't going to show up to the action to prevent that funeral. Matter of fact, she'll show up to make sure that a black boy goes to jail or prison before she'll show up to an action to prevent him from going to prison or to the grave. We got a lot of work to do. We got a lot of work to do going forward. 40% of Brooklyn Center's budget goes to policing. That's 22 unsworn officers and 49 full-time officers. And not a single one of them lives in Brooklyn Center. So let me tell you something. 40% of Brooklyn Center's budget goes to cops that don't live in Brooklyn Center. 40% of Brooklyn Center's budget goes to a group of people that killed Daunte Wright. Think about that. And then last week, on Friday, when we said military's out here, they're doing this and that, people said, hey, cut the scare tactics out. And then when the sun rose the next morning, they said, I'm so sorry, I just heard about the 100 folks that got arrested. People don't understand that you're living in a police state right now, and it's because this man called it. And when right-wing protesters showed up here, and Tim Walz wanted to cry for help and say, oh, I had to evacuate my 14-year-old son out of here. How the hell do you think black families feel with cops parading around from Lakeville, coming from racist sundown towns to their neighborhoods all the time? Tim got a little taste, and he didn't like it. And he went on TV and started crying about it. And good, I hope he knows how we feel. I hope he gets the experience. Because the black experience for us is a lifetime. He may have just had it for 90 minutes. And that was with a whole bunch of racist folks outside of his house. And he had to move his son out. Tim doesn't represent you. And I got news for you, and I don't know if it's good or bad, but I'm just going to tell you, I don't know if we got justice. Because I believe justice is living in a world where Daunte Wright is still alive. I believe justice is living in a world where all these people are still alive. I believe justice is living in a world where Kim Potter understands cognitive dissonance at the age of 5. I believe justice is living in a world where Derek Chauvin is not a serial killer. If you look at his track record, go to Communities United Against Police Brutality, it reads longer than your laundry list. And Mayor Fry ensured that he still had a job. Justice is holding those people accountable before our black brothers end up into the grave. In this country, black men are 2.5 times more likely to be killed by cops than white men. But the kicker is, black men are 2.5 times less likely to be armed than those white men when they're killed. So that tells you, unarmed black men are being killed by cops more than armed white men. Now, I don't like any of those numbers, but that's the reality. And that's the world that you have to change. That's the thing that you have to change. And it ain't just about black men. Although we're by far predated upon by cops, statistically higher than anybody else. But this is about everybody. This is about Asian lives. It's about trans lives. About non-binary folks. About our brothers and sisters. Somali lives. Muslim lives. All the people that are affected by police brutality. Native lives. We need to change the world going forward so we live in a world that already has justice. So that we live in a world that already has justice. So today I'm wearing my grandfather's jacket. His name was Lauren Van Dusen, and they called him Doc because he was real good at music theory, and he played the trombone, and he played in the band before they had synthesizers and fake music at the Twins games and the Vikings games. He'd be on the parade, the big Vikings parade. So I know that my grandfather, he didn't really, I don't think he expected, he was an old white man, and I don't really think he expected, a young brown kid running around his living room and teaching trombone to him, teaching trombone to me. But he did it with grace, and I loved him for it. And I know y'all had grandparents as well. And they may not have expected y'all to be here right now. And maybe they stood on the edge of a dime knowing that you would be here right now. But the whole point is that you have people that came before you to ensure that you were here right now. And maybe they may have done some things in the past that you're standing against and you want to change for the future that you're going to lead to. And they won't have to come out here. They won't have to stand in solidarity to demand that somebody they paid 6 digits to does their damn job. So I want you to just think about the folks that are watching you right now that aren't here right now. Even these folks right here that have these posters with the names on them. I believe that they're watching us. I believe that they're watching us, and I believe that the people before them are watching us as well. So I want you to just join in on a song here that we sing, and we'll kind of elevate with it, we'll go down with it, and then we'll wrap it up. And as I always say, you can be off key, but you can't be off beat, okay? You can be off key, but you can't be off beat. All right, and just sing along with me. Ancestors watching, I know they're watching. Ancestors watching, I know. Ancestors watching, I know they're watching. Ancestors watching, I know. Ancestors watching, I know they're watching. Ancestors watching, I know. A little louder. Ancestors watching, I know they're watching. I know you may have lost somebody. Keep going. I know. Ancestors watching. But they're watching you right now. They're watching where you're standing right now and what you're standing for right now. Keep going. I know. Come on. Ancestors. They're watching you right now, and they are with you right now. They are with us right now, wanting you to continue doing the work. A little louder. Ancestors watching, I know they're watching. Ancestors watching, I know. Ancestors watching, I know they're watching. Last time as loud as you can so his ancestors can hear it. Come on. Ancestors watching, I know they're watching. Ancestors watching, I know. One more time. Ancestors watching, I know they're watching. Ancestors watching, I
these are racially motivated murders. So we have the family of Emmett Till here today. And she's going to come up and just speak to us. But it is through our history that we have to acknowledge our history to even go forward. And honestly, it's too late to go forward. It's too much damage and too much hurt and too much pain that has been inflicted on our community. Until that is addressed, it is no moving forward. And that is what I try to explain to Governor Walz, and I try to explain to these legislators that you have to address the grievances and the pain and the hurt that's already been inflicted upon people before you can try to move forward. So we have here today Emmett Till's cousin, Deborah Watts. Please greet her. Thank you.
Okay. Please repeat after me. And if you believe this, hold your fist in the air. The past is not past until justice prevails.
Until justice prevails.
The past is not past until justice prevails.
Until justice prevails.
Thank you. Emmett Till was murdered in 1955. I stand here today in solidarity with the families because they didn't get justice and Emmett has not received justice either. We are still holding out for the last accomplice, Carolyn Bryant Donham, who has not ever been charged, who lied on Emmett and caused Emmett to be lynched. He was shot in the head, beaten, lynched, with a 75-pound cotton gin fan tied around his neck with barbed wire and thrown in the Tallahatchie River in Mississippi. That wasn't a mistake. Mississippi. But this is Mississippi as far as I'm concerned, because the past is not past until justice prevails. We don't want to repeat it. We don't want 66 more years. We don't want any more families standing here holding pictures of their past loved ones, okay? We just don't want that to happen. And so our leadership in this country, and I know Governor Walz, I know most of the leadership. I ran for Congress in 2004, okay? And so I understand how politics work. It's not working right now. Our leadership is not working right now. Too many people are dying. How many in Minnesota? 470, and probably more. So I'm not going to take any more of your time, but I just want to say that for you standing here with these families and us, it means the world to me. And I think you should know that. Look at yourselves.
Hey guys.
Take a selfie of yourselves being here. This is history in the making. And tomorrow is going to be different. Because guess what? You're going to take a step forward towards the future. I want you
Hey
to
guys,
take
so
one
I'll be heading
step
out
forward
now
towards
to
these
the next
families
event, which started
and
at
let
3.
them know within your loudest voice that you're with them. And you're
Today
gonna
was a
stand
national action, National Day of Action for justice of the families. As you've seen, many of the families here that have had loved ones who have died from police brutality are speaking up about the way they feel. And they have made, a lot of statements about what they feel is going to be a solution. I'm going to answer my Uber real quick. Hello? Hello? I'm in front of the governor's residence. Do you see where the barriers are that are blocking the street? That's where you can find me. Where are you? Excuse me? I'm in front of the governor's residence. I'm like where there's the roadblocks, where there's the people with the speakers and the protesters. I'm right there, but you could find me at the intersection so that you don't have to come in through the barricades. Okay, see you in a little bit. So, many of the families here have made their grievances very clear. The demands that they've made for solutions relating to police violence. There have been various family members affected who have been speaking out here and have, again, shared their feelings. It's been really emotional. A lot of folks have needed some time. This was originally supposed to be in March, but that completely changed when the families decided that they wanted to take this time not to march, but to speak. Right now we're heading to an Adam Toledo event going on in Minneapolis. Right now we're in St. Paul in front of the governor's mansion. So we'll see you in Minneapolis in just a bit. I love you all. Take care, be safe, and we'll see you down the road.